When talking about rich people, you probably picture an old or wrinkly white man in a suit sitting in a boardroom. Well, a new kind of rich individual is far away from this kind of identity. They don't give an F about what you think of them. They're young, unapologetic, and self-made. Here are 15 signs you are the new rich. Number 1. Enough money to work as little or as much as you want without impacting your lifestyle. Rich is when you get paid a lot of money. Being wealthy means you no longer need to work to make much money. The new rich are individuals that can live an upper middle class lifestyle without having to work. They figured out a way to generate an extraordinary income, took almost all of it, and moved it into boring investments like real estate and turned it into errands, laundromats, parking lots, you name it. They usually have a business manager that takes care of the day-to-day activities. If the new rich were to stop working today, they've got enough money to cover their lifestyle costs and then some. Number 2. You are post-economic. The new rich are post-economic, which means you can't convince them to take a job they don't want to do by throwing money at them. They simply don't need money anymore and aren't willing to compromise who they are just for bag money was a challenge and a mission they had already conquered. They know they can always flip a switch and generate more on their own. They don't need a third party to provide for them. The new rich say no to more business opportunities and ideas than any generation before, mostly because they don't want the stress or to be bothered by the responsibility toward others. Number 3. You measure wealth in stress-free time. The new rich measure their wealth by how much life they have in their time, not the other way around. You know, people who have tons of free time and waste days on the couch but are anxious about the future. The goal is to be able to do anything you want without that voice in your head telling you that you should be doing something else. Living where your feet are reduce the volume of stress your mind has to deal with and allows you to feel like you're wealthy. Number 4. You cut the checks and make other people rich. The new rich are kingmakers themselves. The new rich can help others get rich because their success didn't come as a one-off. The new rich are the owners, not the employees. They're the ones who cut the check, not the ones who receive it. A good rule to remember is that the one receiving the check makes substantially less than the one cutting it. Steph Curry is rich. He gets paid a lot of money, but Joe Lecco, the owner of the Golden State Warriors. Number 5. You're walking in the footsteps of legends. The new rich has role models, mentors, and teachers. They follow the study and break down how others have done it. They make it their mission to emulate and adapt everything they learned from previous generations to accelerate their progress. Deserves in terms of fundamentals. Ask any of the new rich, and they'll tell you who their mentors are and just how valuable their input has been. Number 6. You're surrounded by people who've already achieved success. If you pay close attention to the new rich, you'll see they don't move alone. They travel in packs. They live in houses together. They work out, eat, think, collaborate, and do deals together. The new rich figured out that wealth isn't a single-player game, and it's much easier to get there when you play with people with the same goal. They find people they vibe with within a similar age group. They leverage each other's know-how and networks to make each other even richer. They are fully transparent, put all the cards on the table, and make it a priority to help each other win. It's simple math if you think about it. Number 7. You wake up happy to be you, as your life is fulfilling and enjoyable. The new rich wakes up happy and is arrested. Imagine opening your eyes in the morning and being thrilled to be living the life that you are. The new rich actively practices gratitude. They're super thankful to be in their position. They're committed to making the most out of this simulation render. Even if you're not one of the new rich, we want you to take this opportunity to quickly remind yourself that there are 8 billion other people on this planet. At any moment, at least 2 billion people would feel like they accomplished every goal they've ever had if they were to trade their lives with yours. Number 8. The lavish lifestyle gets boring fast, and they transition to minimalism. Most of the new rich grew up with nothing, so when you first get money, everything is exciting. You want to show it off because spending money is something you've never had the opportunity to do, so it's enjoyable. That's why you see all of these newfound wealth kids flexing so much online. They're looking for status and to show the world they've arrived. Run the tape a few years forward, and the appetite for flexing drops considerably the first time you walk into Louis Vuitton or Chanel and actually have the money to buy something it's really exciting, but the law of diminishing returns kicks in when it comes to the dopamine you get from spending 2 or 3 purchases in. And it's no longer a thrill, it's just a bag or a backpack, while the old generation of wealth lived these lavish lifestyles. Number 9. You're the first generation to create wealth through new tech. The new rich is defined by new technology, so much so that old rich people can't understand how you made your money even if you try to explain it. It's hard for them to wrap their minds around the kind of numbers thrown around today. Back in their time, to make $1 million a month, you would need big factory hundreds, if not thousands of employees, multiple offices and buildings. Now, the new rich do these kinds of numbers with digital products or by outsourcing all production overseas and keeping under 10 employees. Number 10. Depression, anxiety, and a strange feeling of emptiness. If there's one thing the new rich deal with that the older generations don't, it's this feeling of angst. It used to take a lifetime to build generational wealth and achieve success. The new rich do it before they turn 30 or 35. You've seen everyone struggling with it their entire lives, and you are ready to go the long run. But the new rich sacrifices everything else. They get laser focused. What you're left with is a lack of a sense of purpose. Number 11. You're disrupting a category or industry with new business models. Due to industries, what the internet did to newspapers. This is one of the main reasons the old rich despise this new generation, because their legacies are being buried. Mr. Beast has a larger monthly audience than all mainstream media combined. Vital butter can make traditional financial institutions extinct in our lifetime. Number 12. Location-independent digital native. The new rich is no longer located bound. Their entire business is on their phone or laptop. Why would they stay where the weather sucks when they could be on a beach where it's always sunny? Why would you pay 60 tax when you could move to a different corner of the world where you could live like a king and pay no income tax? The old rich couldn't move their factories or office buildings, but the new rich can. Number 13. Risk embracer. The old rich hates risk. They made it their mission to minimize risk in all its forms. On the other hand, the new rich got rich by embracing risk and going all in on new tech. It's also a difference in follow-up options if the risk doesn't play out in your 20s or 30s. You've already made a ton of money on the internet. Blockchain comes around. Number 14. Exponential growth happens super fast in under 5 years. The new rich is defined by one thing: speed. Things need to happen fast. Money is now on steroids. The last 5 years have been a roller coaster, and you ended up on top when things started popping off for you. You left everyone in the dust. People who knew you 5 years ago think you're still the same kind of person, but almost everything has changed. You became someone new along the way, an elevated version of who you once were. Number 15. Independent builder in public. The new rich build in public. You can track their progress since day one. Everything was done in the open. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You can see where they've struggled and what were their inflection points. Nobody made you king, but you built a crown yourself out of the support. Your community shows you that almost all of the new rich has started from the bottom and built their way up first. So this is the end of this interesting video. Do you like it? Openly submit your feedback in our comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.